Hello, everybody. Today, I'd like to talk to you a little bit about Blanc, the company I founded almost 10 years ago, and how sustainability has been a key driver in founding Blanc and then developing it into what it is today. So, first of all, I started Blanc 10 years ago from a very, very clear perspective. I wanted to create a business that was sustainable, and that meant that would improve people's health, the environment, and generally the environment in which we live and work and make, uh, even if it's a bit stereotype, the world better for our kids. And so I spent a year researching. I was working in investment banking at the time and researching various business models, what was going on in different countries. And I came across the dry cleaning industry, which I found absolutely fascinating and extremely toxic. And I think I'm going to tell you a few words about how we set up and how it has become a 50 people company today, cleaning over 1,000 items a day, and really I think making inroads into promoting sustainability for our customers, but also for the fashion brands, and really now being part of the full circular economy ecosystem where we work with fashion brands, we work with designers, and we work with, of course, individual customers to make clothes last longer and to clean them and take care of them without toxic products. So I don't know if you knew that 85% of the dry cleaners use a solvent called PERC, an extremely toxic solvent, which is a known carcinogenic. It's air, water, and soil pollutant. And 20% of the fashion industry carbon emissions come from product use. So that is after it's being manufactured. Many of the products then end up going to landfill, and many clothes are not repaired when there could be and are worn much less than they should be. So there is a huge opportunity to really improve this. And at the time, 10 years ago, I was not aware of all these facts, but what I knew for a fact was that the cleaning method used to clean delicate clothes was extremely toxic. And being from an extremely eco-friendly family, that's something that I realized was something kind of an unacceptable fact to me. I was trying to eat organic, to do lots of good things, but having the idea of having my suit dumped into a toxic solvent um, became not only unacceptable personally, but I kind of made it a personal challenge to look into this industry and see if there was a way to disrupt it. And really, it's come to the foundation of Blanc. We believe that the world needs a sustainable way of cleaning the many clothes it produces. So we are reimagining clothing aftercare and how can we value for our clothes in a better way to make them last longer? How can we clean and care for our clothes naturally? And this really is our objective. So fundamentally, just to give you a few facts, dry cleaning is not dry and is not clean. It is toxic and it does use a solvent, and exposure to toxic products can happen in a variety of ways in everyday's life. So what we figured out and what we did was fundamentally to go back to the origin of the toxic cycle to clean and find another solution. And I found this even before I resigned, went to France and learned from a small dry cleaner when I was still a vice president in investment banking, and spent some weeks learning the trade. How there was a technology called aqua clean or wet cleaning that enabled to clean extremely delicate garments without the use of any toxic solvents. And that's how we came to define a process which could clean items from basic shirts to wedding dresses and designer labels, which we clean hundreds of today daily, which is kinder to the health, kinder to the clothes, and kinder to the planet. Today, we are cleaning approximately 1,000 items a day with a team of 50 people. We have 4 stores all around London and offer a collection and delivery service throughout London, both to individuals and also, very importantly, to businesses, mostly fashion brands who sell clothes, and working increasingly with online platforms, whether they are rental, resale, and also first-hand selling platforms for the recleaning of the items which have any stain or need repair. So we also have recently, since the 1st of Feb, a couple of days ago, eliminated completely plastic and single-use plastic from all our processes. So, and I'll talk to you later on about all the inroads that we've made, even though the original idea was fundamentally to be more sustainable. As we progressed, we realized that all around an industrial process, a retail process, a logistics process, there are improvements which can be done and need to be done. So it's been a full journey to realize that even my original goals were not enough, and always increasing them and looking all around to things that I didn't know initially to make them more sustainable. Um, in our process, I'm not going to go too much into detail, but it's a very, very detailed process. We are an eco-friendly dry cleaners and tailors. So we have retail operations with stores, we have logistical operations because we have drivers on the road who collect clothes from people's home and from our stores and bring them to our central atelier, which is where we clean, repair and tailor all clothes. There we have a very, very fine expertise, machines, and extraordinary people who take care of the clothes, including a very thorough quality control and a big layer of technology that we have been building over time to enable to scale up the sustainable process and the quality process to satisfy the customer's needs. Because today, sustainability is not enough for a customer. I think convenience and quality are equally extremely important. So we work in terms of sustainability, as I was saying, with fashion brands to try and rethink the whole fashion process to offer an aftercare solution to clothes. We all spend money, time, and emotions buying clothes, but after the act of purchase, there is no brand, there is no real trusted reference to take care of them. And that's what Blanc aims to be. And it's a process to build this trust from a quality, convenience, and sustainability point of view at every step of the process. And so we work with these brands as well to advise them on how to conceive clothes that will last longer, that will be easier to clean. And this is what we call the Blanc Lab, which is an innovation that we've also brought to market probably in the sixth year of the business. And that's been extremely exciting so far. Um, in terms of sustainability, as I was saying, it started from the principle of cleaning without any toxic product. And that has been a success. And we've had to develop the technology more and more. And now we use an array of technologies. So always trying to innovate and look what is being made and adopt it and then fine tune it to our standard and our own recipes. But then all around the business, I gradually discovered that there were other things that we needed to do. And the main thing had to remain the main thing, which is to clean sustainability and with love. But around that, we're using energy. So we had to gradually look into how to use better energy. So since last year, we're now using 100% green energy, completely renewable, zero landfill. All the waste that we produced, it was one thing to reduce it and then to sign an agreement with a landfill company to make sure everything is sorted and recycled or treated but doesn't go to landfill. In sustainability, it's extremely important. There is the social element, which is paramount, and particularly in an industry like ours, where usually the standards are not very high. So we're trying to really do our best and to care for our team. And these are colleagues I work with on a daily basis to make sure we do our utmost to raise the standard. And we are still working on it very much, in spite of the crisis, trying to do our best in terms of living wage, in terms of conditions, and offering the best conditions possible. It's very important to remember that this is part of sustainability. Extending the garment's life is something that it's interesting. Initially, I didn't think about it. I was mostly into the non-toxic aspect. But extending the garment life is fundamental. It's a huge part of what we are doing today with the brands, with the individuals, and with the crisis. Things have accelerated. I think people have realized that fast fashion is not good, and you need to buy for the long term. You need to buy quality, more local, and therefore the need for maintenance is absolutely critical, and that's where we come into play. Whether you just want to maintain, to repair because you've gained weight, you've lost weight, you want to change the design. And I often take this example of, I really love these shirts. And I had a customer in the beginning where I was at the counter for 3 years in my first store in Marylebone. And a customer consistently came with his shirts, his work shirts, whose colors were damaged. And he said, can you just transform them into Mao shirts by removing the color? And I was amazed how you can add 5 years of life to a shirt just by making an alteration which costed probably £20, and then the shirt was not only fashionable but also lasted a couple of extra years. And these are the kind of things that I'm really, really passionate about, and that we do a lot at Blanc. Packaging was another challenge. So it took us 3 years to move to zero single-use plastic, and I'm very, very proud to say that our team has managed to move from the 1st of February to zero single-use plastic. And the biggest challenge was the polyroll that you see packaging the clothes on the hangers. This is made of plastic, used by all dry cleaners in the world, used by most fashion brands, and it was very complex, and we had to work hand in hand with manufacturers of compostable plastic to define the right size, the right texture, and to make sure that it could combine as well with our industrial packaging machine, which enables us to treat in quality volumes. And that took us literally 3 years to get to the right product, and it's still improving. But now you can see all Blanc items being packaged in compostable. I'm very proud about it. But the kind of thing you don't think about it when you start, and then it adds a bit of complexity. But we like the challenge, and I'm sure our customers do appreciate that we work hard on what's important, and that we ultimately get it through. And then electric vans has been also a breakthrough. Since the beginning, I wanted to find hybrid vans or electric vans, and for very long, they didn't exist. You had hybrid Toyotas for cars and very small vans, but no large vans. So after many years of research, we placed an order with the first van, and it took a year to arrive and to be manufactured. And I think last year the electric van started arriving on the market. So early last year we got our first van just before the lockdown, so that then the van could have a nice 2-month rest. But now it's working very well, and we are very happy. And we are now rolling out completely to our fleet because we've tested and it works fantastically well. So this was yet another work stream to add and always work on the sustainability. And now we're working on B Corp certification, a full life cycle analysis, and for example, water filtration to remove particles. So it is never ending. It is a real journey. But that's what is fascinating. And every time an innovation comes, or every time a problem is raised by a customer, we try and work on it to sort of solve it together. So that's to maybe give you a little overview of Blanc. To tell you maybe a bit more of, what have been the main difficulties during this pandemic. And I think this is a topic that is in everybody's mind. And it's a thinking that is not finished, because we keep thinking we are not out of the woods yet, and we keep thinking every day about what can happen. I think it's been an extremely difficult year, and of course it's not over. We had to close fully for 2 months early last year because of the uncertainty, the hazard to the health of our colleagues, and the imperative to make sure we could first protect before starting again. So that was an unbelievable challenge to close an entire business, retail, industrial, and logistic operation, and then reopening 2 months later when we were then comfortable to protect our colleagues, to protect our customers, and we had added some biodegradable virucide into our process. So all the clothes that came to us were fully disinfected. That's part of the innovation that we had to bring in order to reopen and stay safe and bring to people the service that they still needed. Because although people were using less traditional dry cleaning, sort of cleaning your suit and shirts because you would less so, there was still quite a lot of demand in home collection and deliveries. So we've been bringing to market basically lots of innovation, and I've been constantly brainstorming with our colleagues and with our customers. And I would say one of the key things in a crisis is to remain very close to customers. And it's been over the phone, it's been by email, it's been on social media, to really understand what do people need now. I shouldn't be offering the same service as before. My fundamental value proposition is the same. My values are the same. And the reason why I started the business 10 years ago and started preparing it 11 years ago are the same. It's about offering a sustainable way of cleaning and taking care of the clothes, but the clothes are not necessarily the same. So at the moment, we are, for example, cleaning more rugs, curtains, sofa covers, offering a wash and fold solution for the whole household laundry and bed linen, for example, but less suit and evening wear. It has come back between lockdowns, but it's about shifting the product mix. It has been also about finding new ideas. So we've launched online sessions with tailor in order to help people pin their clothes where they needed to tailor them and then send them to us via our network of collection and deliveries. So lots of really innovation, some successful, some not, but each of them have enabled us to understand what was going on, the new lifestyle and the new imperatives of our customers. Now, it's very interesting that over these 10 years, there were periods where people were less interested in sustainability, and it was more the quality that we brought, the reliability compared to the rest of the market that attracted our customer, both private and businesses. And I have to say today, I can see that there's been a complete shift, and the sustainability is on top of everybody's mind, whether as a consumer or as a CEO of a major fashion house, down to every intermediary level. And that has been fascinating and extremely exciting, because we've had conversation, we've had engagement from customers that were really, really fruitful. And we've shared with most of our customers advice. Sometimes it's in our core business and how we can help them by doing business with them, but very exciting conversation about any other type. How do we do in our office with our own people, with our own supplies to become more sustainable? And these conversations are valid across industries with our customers, with our suppliers. So we can see a clear, storm of thinking in many businesses, and some, to be honest, which had the DNA at their, the sustainability. Some which had the sustainability in their DNA from the beginning, like us, and they keep pushing, and it's fantastic to see. And some who didn't. And I would say that's fine. As long as people move in the right direction, even if they didn't take the right path initially, or they didn't even think about it, the fact that many people now are realizing that this is absolutely key, that the house is burning, and that we all need in our personal and professional lives as consumers, as father and mothers, as brothers and sisters, as managers and as owners of businesses, as investors, as politicians. All of us have a role to play in making the world more sustainable. And that is fantastic to see that the energies are coming together. So today, I encourage you to keep looking for a sustainable job, for a sustainable business, for a sustainable brand, whatever you do, and pushing in that direction. It is the future, for the simple reason that without sustainability, there is no future. But if we all get together and work on these aspects, and you can see in the case of our business, it's not necessarily something everybody will have thought about, but in the end, it is quite important, and it pushed the whole fashion industry in the right direction. Everybody has a role to play, and I hope that today I played a little part in inspiring you, and maybe in giving you a few ideas into what you can do tomorrow.